Phantom Menace was important for one simple reason. The rise of Darth Jar Jar. The most evil, cunning, manipulative Sith Lord the galaxy had ever seen! I'd love to be able to tell you there's a deleted Darth Jar Jar scene, but Jar Jar is such a devious Sith Lord, he went and removed all traces of it from existence. Snuck into Skywalker Ranch and just sliced that thing open. So we're left with these, the Phantom Menace deleted scenes, most of which are super awkward, and is like some weird coming-of-age story for our little boy Annie. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. It's an alternate, extended version of Darth Maul's duel with Qui Gon on Tatooine. So the Royal Starship is flying overhead, Qui Gon's looking to get the heck out of here, there's this random cloaked man chasing him through the desert like a madman. Okay, one thing, when Qui Gon says, "Anakin, drop!" How did Anakin know to just faceplant to the floor? Did Qui Gon take him aside earlier in the day and be like, so if some random cloaked man starts chasing us through the desert, I'm gonna shout, "Anakin, drop!" In which case, I want you to faceplant. Seriously, Maul could have prevented the Empire and everything right here if he'd just been a little faster. Also, what type of sick Sith Lord tries to run over some poor slave 10-year-old who just had to say bye to his slave mum for basically the final time? Maul knew what Anakin would become. It's like Clone Wars Season 7. Seriously, no one's ever listening to Maul. And yet he knows and predicts everything. Hashtag justice for Maul. Also, how did Obi-Wan not sense his master is literally dueling a Sith Lord? Had to be told, Qui-Gon's in trouble. And look how chill he is about the whole thing. How he reacts, he's just, in trouble? What? Oh dear.
Over there, fly low.
Alright, so Qui-Gon force jumps his way up onto the ship's ramp, and normally this would mean he's safe and he's escaped. But not this time, because he's up against deleted scene Darth Maul. Maul is still running after him like a madman. He launches himself up onto the ramp and the duel continues. They engage in a saber lock and Qui-Gon eventually pushes Maul off the ramp. Now one thing, if Qui-Gon had waited for like 2 more seconds, the ship would have been way higher, meaning that Maul would have definitely broken his legs on landing. Oh yeah, then Qui-Gon basically has a stroke aboard the ship. So there's a deleted scene in which Anakin is strangling little baby Greedo. Town street, Tatooine, day. 2 hovering droids fly over, carrying scrap. A crowd of cheering children can be heard in the distance. Anakin is beating the crap out of this poor green space alien who never made it off this sandy rock. What if it was this event, this punch Anakin throws right here, that led Greedo to a life of scum and villainy in the Cantina bar where he eventually meets his demise? Alright, so Qui-Gon walks over and calmly says,
"What's this all about?"
I don't know, Qui-Gon, maybe you're about to induct the galaxy's most powerful, conflicted, evil being into the Jedi Order.
He said I cheated.
Oh my gosh, get ready for some of the wisest words to ever come out of Qui-Gon's mouth.
Did you?
No.
Well, of course he's not going to admit it. He's a liar.
You still think he cheated? You'll just have to tolerate his opinion.
Is that what you did when you took Anakin to the Jedi Council and they all told you to not train the boy and you still did? Were you tolerating the opinion of all those who died during Order 66 because of your decision to train the boy?
Fighting will not change it.
Come on, Qui-Gon, man. You're such a joke. A little on the nose there with the writing, George. Isn't it such a George Lucas thing to put Greedo in the Phantom Menace and then the other Rodian just randomly runs off? What is this scene? So you know how Qui-Gon's a bit of a sneaky bastard and tricks Watto into gambling his 10-year-old slave boy away. Well, there's a longer version of that scene.
I'll wager my new racing pod against, say, the boy and his mother.
So in the original scene, Watto straight up says no pod is worth 2 slaves, not by a long shot. But in this scene, he actually takes a second to consider the offer.
A pod for slaves? Well, perhaps,
One thing, don't pods get destroyed all the time in these races, so why would Watto even consider this bet? If he wins the bet and Anakin doesn't win the race, and the pod is destroyed during the race, he gets nothing.
Just one. The mother, maybe. The boy isn't for sale.
Also, I love how he's almost happy to sell Shmi. He knows Anakin's worth more. Still a young boy, you know, he'll grow up and probably get stronger and smarter. Well, maybe just stronger.
He's just a small boy. He can't be worth that much.
No.
What is Jar Jar doing? Just walks off to the side.
For the fastest racing pod ever built,
No.
Hang on, then why didn't it have the best speed stat in Star Wars Racer?
Both of the bets off.
All right, Qui Gon, a little forceful with the haggling.
One slave or nothing.
Jar Jar's up to his usual Sith Lord ways off to the side in the background. He even looks like a Sith Lord here. And then this is the part where Watto takes out his Chance Cube and Qui Gon pulls a sneaky force push. So when I went to Galaxy's Edge, I only bought one thing. Chance Cube. It's so cool. Did you know there's actually a much longer version of the pod race intro where almost every racer is introduced? Also, did you know Fode and Bede weren't originally animated? Pretty sure the actors who played them didn't even know they were changed into CGI characters until they saw the film. What a way to find out. All right, so all the pod racers are getting ready. We see Ben Quaderneros frantically waving to the crowd as he's introduced. There's a few extra shots of Sebulba jumping into his pod, fist pumping the crowd. We get introduced to more Honik. This rando in the crowd's taken one too many death sticks. Clegg Holdfast has little mumble. What is this guy, an army general? Look at he's wearing some badges on his chest. He's very well decorated here. This here is Elon Mack. Oh my gosh, guys. One of my favorites. This guy here is Dud Bolt, the legend. I call him Dudley. All right, this is Mars Guo, moving up from the minor leagues, apparently. Now here, it seems like Jar Jar is taking the spotlight away from this bird creature, who definitely isn't too happy about it. Just Jar Jar working in mysterious ways. Okay, so seriously, we're only like halfway through this. I can't believe they had all of this CGI done and finished, and we're actually so close to putting this in the final film. Can you imagine watching this entire sequence in the film? That's what I want, the Phantom Menace cut. Forget the original trilogy cuts. Forget the 4-hour Revenge of the Sith cut. I want the original Phantom Menace pod race cut with the Darth Jar Jar scenes thrown in there somewhere. I know they're out there, man. This is Rats Terrell.
It's Rats Terrell!
And Rats has brought his family to cheer him on. Man, this is so weird. All right, so this guy's got his own band in the crowd. What a legend. This here is Odie Mandrell with a record-setting pit droid team, apparently. And then we get Anakin. Yeah, how you doing, Anakin? Yeah, all right. So they all wave the flags. Shmi tells Anakin to be safe. Sebulba's the real cheating cheater. Jabba the Hutt shows up. Hey, does this mean Boba's gonna watch pod racing in the new series? That'd be epic. Just Boba standing in Jabba's place here. And then we get a bunch more shots of the pods firing up, different engine sounds, alien mumbles. And honestly, this is pretty epic. Especially if you love pod racing. This seems like George Lucas bringing to life his love of racing in cars through the pod racing. And there's a pretty long build up to the start of the race. No music, just engines revving. It's a real car lover's dream. Oh, and Rats Terrell's wife and kids watching on nervously. And then Jabba eats a lizard. And scene. At the start of the Phantom Menace, as the Jedi board the Trade Federation control ship, there's a deleted scene where two droids watch on and talk trash about the protocol droid.
They must be important. The Viceroy sent one of those useless protocol gearheads to greet them.
A Republic cruiser. That's trouble, don't you think?
This looks and feels so out of place.
I'm not made to think.
After watching this, I have just one thing I want to say. Man, so many people already hated The Phantom Menace when it first released because it was the first Star Wars film George Lucas had made after the original trilogy. And it was so vastly different from the original trilogy, which people love and adore. Can you imagine how much worse the backlash would have been if they left this one brief scene in the film?
I'm not made to think.
Did you know that Bail Organa was originally going to first appear in The Phantom Menace, although he was going to be played by this guy? This is Adrian Dunbar, a Northern Irish actor. He had just one line in the film, very brief, but the scene was eventually cut.
Alderaan seconds the motion for a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum.
Also, again, pretty sure this guy didn't know the scene was being cut out and that his character was recast by someone completely different for Attack of the Clones. Jimmy Smith's replacing him. No one tells him. George doesn't call him up and say, oh yeah, hey, by the way, we don't need you for the next film. And yeah, we got someone else to play exactly the same character. What? Also, there's a woman in the pod here with Princess Leia hair. Just thought I'd point that out. All right, if you guys like deleted scenes, check out one of these videos here. And if you're new around here, I also have a clips channel. You can come follow that. Daily memes and clips and uploads. And also come follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord for lots more Star Wars and gaming and everything else. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.